It's the 9th of September and welcome to PHDQ's. Question 1 comes from Craig from Auchtermuchty, who asks, what does Boris's latest announcement on a Brexit deal really mean? Well, Craig, it basically means that we have 5 weeks to get a deal, or there will be no deal. Sadly, this isn't a Noel Edmonds television show, so instead of one disappointed customer, it's going to affect the lives of millions in the UK and the EU. This is in fact a very high stakes game of chicken. Someone's going to win, but equally someone's going to lose. Now, it may be possible that Boris's latest announcement focuses the EU's attention, they compromise, and give us a deal which he finds acceptable. But if that proves impossible, Boris has said that we could end up with an Australia-type arrangement, which is a nice euphemism for no deal, as Australia doesn't have a trade deal with the European Union. They trade on World Trade Organization terms, which will mean tariffs and customs controls. If we go for the no deal, then, due to the land border with the Republic of Ireland, Boris will have to overrule the special arrangements for Northern Ireland. And that would mean that the border between Northern Ireland and the Republic would need controls in place. That would undermine the Good Friday Agreement, which ensures peace in Northern Ireland and allows for free movement across the border. In turn, any deal which threatens the Good Friday Agreement also threatens a UK-US trade deal. Despite the Donald's bluster, any UK-US trade deal would have to at least pass through Congress. There's a lot of support for the Republican side of Irish politics in the US. Any deal threatening Irish peace would be a very hard sell in the US Congress, or if it went there, the Senate. The proposal contravenes international public law and the law of treaties, so would open a dispute with the EU, which the UK would likely lose. It would also serve to make the EU more mistrustful of the UK in any future political dealings. When it comes to new trade deals, or any other deals with other nations, having seen the UK behave in this manner, will also make them more distrustful of us. If we would be so willing to deal in such a reckless and offhand manner with old allies and partners, we would be seen as equally willing to screw over any new trade partners. Now, if an acceptable deal was available, the EU would have approved it by now, and we'd already be free and clear of them. David Cameron would have struck that deal, or perhaps even Theresa May. The EU have never been the problem here. They have never tried to stop us from leaving. Up to now, it's been 4 years, 3 Prime Ministers, 3 Brexit Secretaries, 2 general elections, 1 European election, no bloody progress. So to summarise, if the EU cave in, we're quids in. If they don't, we're screwed. We won't have an EU deal, the Good Friday Agreement will be finished, Northern Ireland will destabilise, leading to possible reunification. We'll really struggle to get a US trade deal, and in turn other nations will not trust us when negotiating anything. So the UK is playing a high stakes game of chicken. Now, we're a pretty nice car, but we're playing against a juggernaut. If they don't swerve, we are doomed. Question 2, Jim from Indy asks, what did the government vote down about Grenfell Tower? Well, Jim, the Grenfell inquiry led to a bill being put before Parliament. Bills go through a few stages before they get voted on, and during that time all parties can add amendments to that bill. The Labour Party wanted one added. Clause 1 was going to ensure that the owners or managers of flats share information with the local fire service about the design and materials of external walls. They would also have been required to carry out regular inspections of lifts and individual flat entrance doors, while evacuation and fire safety instructions would have to be shared with the residents of the building. The amendment was defeated by 318 to 188. The SNP sat out this vote, as they typically do. They could have taken part, but Scotland has its own fire safety legislation. So in issues like this, there's a gentleman's agreement that we sit it out. But that didn't stop the 6 Scottish Tory MPs voting on something which doesn't affect any of their constituents. Question 3 is from Mary from Kirkwall. Her question is, I heard that Westminster is coming after Scots law. What's the score there? Well, Mary, At the end of July, the Lord Chancellor announced an independent review of administrative law. The terms of reference make it pretty clear. They're looking to reform the process of judicial review across the UK. But he seems to have forgotten that he's only England's Justice Secretary, that Scotland's legal system is separate and distinct, and the system of civil justice in Scotland is fully devolved. Judicial review is the means by which the legality of government decisions and actions can be challenged in the courts. Perhaps the best known recent example of a judicial review is the prorogation case in the UK, in which the UK Supreme Court ruled that the UK government's parliament shutdown last year was unlawful. However, judicial review is also used more routinely by litigants challenging government decisions. In the fields of immigration, asylum, housing, environment, welfare, the WASPy women are currently challenging the unfair changes to the state pension age by way of a judicial review. The government want to reduce or limit these cases so as to reduce scrutiny of their actions. Lord Fawkes, a former Tory minister and now a crossbench peer, is to chair the review. His track record does not inspire confidence. He's advocated repeal of the Human Rights Act and was vocal in his disapproval of the Supreme Court's unanimous ruling in the prorogation case. To ask us to see him as an impartial chair is an insult to our intelligence. It's also important to remember that the significant influence that the Scottish courts have on the outcome of the prorogation case. 2 separate legal challenges were brought against the prorogation. One by Gina Miller in the English courts, and the other in the Scottish courts by a group of MPs and peers led by SNP MP Joanna Cherry. At first, the English Divisional Court rejected the challenge and took the Scottish Court of Session to breathe new life into the cases, when they ruled that the prorogation was unlawful. 2 weeks later, 11 UK Supreme Court judges unanimously followed the Scottish Court's lead. Make no mistake about it, that's why the Scottish courts are now in the UK government's sights. Where UK government actions have implications across the UK, they can be challenged by litigants affected in either jurisdiction. If judicial review is curtailed in England, only challenges could still take place in the Scottish courts. However, the UK government would be wrong to interfere with the scope for judicial review in Scotland. Judicial review is a devolved matter under the Scotland Act and the preserve of the Scottish Parliament. The authority and privileges of the Court of Session are protected by Article 19 of the 1707 Treaty of Union. It has been suggested that some parts of the Treaty of Union, including Article 19, are so fundamental that the UK Parliament does not have the power to legislate in contravention of them. But that argument has never been definitively tested in court. If the Tories intend to attack the right to judicial review in Scotland, then this might be the opportunity to get a court to definitively answer the question. The outcome could have potential knock-on effects for the Union. It would be foolish for the UK government to try to rewrite the Treaty of Union and undermine Scotland's separate legal system at a time when Brexit has already delivered majority support for independence in the polls. An unwanted attempt to change something protected in the Act of Union could give us the ammunition to say the treaty has been violated, and at an extreme stretch, perhaps even give the Holyrood Parliament the power to declare it void. Yet, on the face of it, it seems the Tories actually want to press ahead with this action. Well, that's it for PHDQs this week. I direct the watching public to comment on the Facebook page. Remain civil at all times. DaviePHD.